This is a private street regulated by the Homeowners Association. You will cease and desist immediately, or we will fine you daily.
At 6:12 a.m., I woke up to the sound of chains scraping metal and yellow lights flashing through my bedroom blinds. I ran outside in pajama pants, cold air biting my feet on the driveway. The tow truck was already hooked to my car, exhaust thick in the dark, mixing with the sharp smell of wet asphalt and someone's burnt coffee. Our quiet Cul De Sac looked like a crime scene. 22 bright orange cones circled the whole end of the street in a perfect ring, with a big sign in the middle, HOA reserved. At the center, like a queen on a throne, stood our HOA president. Karen level bob haircut, fuzzy robe, clipboard in hand, barking at the tow guy like she owned the road. "This is a public street," I said, my voice shaking. "You can't just steal my car." She didn't even look at me. "You were warned," she said. "New parking rules. Non-compliant vehicles are removed." That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about my car. It was control. The next day, I told my wife, "This is it." The HOA seized my Cul De Sac with 22 orange cones. Then I filed the injunction. That's what this fight is about. Those cones turned our street into her private kingdom. Kids couldn't ride bikes there anymore. Guests had nowhere to park. She painted little white numbers by each cone and said they were board priority spots. Neighbors whispered, eyes down, clutching their coffee mugs like shields. At the emergency HOA meeting that night, I stood up and tried to talk. I said we needed to vote, not just wake up to tow trucks. The board stared at their papers. One guy actually pretended to cough instead of answering me. I emailed. I called. I slid a letter under Karen's door. No answer. Instead, the fine started. First one for $150 for improper parking in a managed area. Then a $200 fine for obstruction of cones. My car had been 6 inches over an imaginary line only she could see. I started digging through old notices and saw a pattern. Every time someone pushed back, they got a fine or a threat. Then I found the worst one in my inbox history. Timeline item 1, April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. She had called security on me for walking my own dog near the Cul De Sac. That was the moment my line in the sand appeared. I told myself out loud, shaking but clear, no yelling, no drama. I'm going to beat her with her own rules. I went full nerd. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. Sunrise shots of the cones. Videos of empty, reserved spots while guests were forced to park 2 blocks away. Screenshots of her nasty little notices. Then I went to the city website and opened a public records request. I asked for any permits for road closures on our street and any complaints filed by our HOA. 2 weeks later, the clerk slid a fat envelope across the counter. The file landed with 63 pages. Inside were emails from Karen to the tow company, calling our public Cul De Sac a private HOA lot. There were no road closure permits, no city approval. I met with a calm guy from the traffic office who flipped through my binder and nodded. "This is a city street," he said. "They cannot block it without a permit. They cannot tow from it." He pointed at Karen's complaint list. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. That same afternoon, I called a neighbor who was a junior lawyer and asked for help. We sat at my kitchen table with cold pizza and highlighters. We drafted a request for a temporary injunction against the HOA enforcing any parking rules on the public part of the street. We attached photos of the cones, copies of the city emails, and that April 5th false trespass note. When we filed it at the courthouse, the clerk raised an eyebrow and said, "You brought receipts." On May 3rd, 2024 at 9:00 p.m., my phone buzzed with an email. The judge had signed the temporary order. The HOA was barred from blocking the Cul De Sac or towing any more cars there until a full hearing. Suddenly, I had something better than yelling on the sidewalk. I had paper with a seal that I didn't tell anyone right away. I waited. Karen sent out a smug message about a Cul De Sac beautification day for Saturday at 10:00 a.m. No resident parking allowed. Towing enforced. Perfect. That morning the air was crisp, and the asphalt still smelled new from the seal coat she'd ordered last month. She marched out with her cones, arranging all 22 like she was laying out a red carpet. A couple of board members helped. Neighbors stood on porches with coffee, pretending not to watch but totally watching. I parked my car right at the mouth of the Cul De Sac and walked over, holding a plain manila folder. "You can't park there today," she snapped. "Event only." Tow truck is on the way. Good, I said. He'll want to see this. Right then, a county deputy turned the corner and walked up, his car lights off, but very visible. Behind him was the same city traffic guy, camera around his neck, plus two neighbors already holding up their phones to film. The deputy asked, "Who's the HOA president?" Karen stepped forward, chin up. He handed her the folded papers. "This is a court order," he said. "You are not allowed to block this street or tow any vehicles from it." The city inspector added, "And these cones are an illegal obstruction. They all have to go. Now." The way her face dropped should have been on a movie poster. Neighbors gasped. Someone snorted a laugh. The tow truck pulled in, saw the deputy, and just froze. One of my neighbors muttered loud enough for the camera. "Guess the queen lost her kingdom." The inspector had the board members stack every orange cone on the grass. The kids swarmed, filming TikToks with them, pretending they were traffic hats. The deputy asked Karen about the late-night calls and written threats. She tried to blame confused residents, but the inspector just held up my binder. "We already have the pattern documented," he said. The crowd oohed like it was a reality show. By Monday, the fallout started. The HOA got a notice from the city, civil fines for obstructing a public roadway, and a warning about misuse of towing. At the next board meeting, the room was packed. People who never spoke raised their hands. A quiet dad from 2 houses down said, "I got 3 fake fines. I want my money back." Under pressure, the board voted to remove Karen as president and put her on a 1-year probation from any committee. They agreed to refund every bogus parking fine and pay back all towing fees, including mine, plus a small settlement of $1,000 for my trouble. New bylaws went up. The board could not change parking rules without a written city permit and a 2/3 vote of homeowners. The cones were banned except for real emergencies. Now, on summer evenings, our Cul De Sac is back to what it should be. Kids draw chalk cities on the pavement. We set up folding chairs and share ice cream. The air smells like grilled burgers, not power trips. We still have an HOA, but now the board answers questions and actually reads emails. Karen still lives here, but she walks past the Cul De Sac fast, eyes down, no clipboard, no cones. Every time I see a kid ride their bike in a big circle where my car once got dragged away, I feel that quiet, solid kind of payback you only get from doing it the right way. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.